Water in the Tower garage, 15th of September. So this is all dried up quite nicely here. That's 301. And all here now is dried up. This is actually a lot less wet. This is just like wet now. It's not as sploshy. Water is still draining into the pump out pit down there. This is Lulu's garage. It actually now has a dry patch in it. It is starting to dry out slowly. I come up here to 502 garage. This is actually where the water is the worst, and I think it's because of where the garages slope. And then you get to here, it's not as bad. And here is dried up now. This was all wet previously. Peter's garage, and where you can see that wet patch, that came all the way out to here yesterday only. That was all wet, and then you can see the water marks. So it is actually in fact drying up nicely. That garage is now half dry. All this is now dry, which was all previously wet. Some of the garages are still wet. This is Antonia's garage, that's all dry now. This is going to the other pump out pit, that's dry. That's the first time in 7 months I've actually seen that dry. There's still a little bit of water draining from here, very slowly. These garages are still wet, but they are drying. You can see 105 has a dry patch, which means it is drying slowly. What I wanted to show you though is these are the pipes that come from the park. That's blue metal to stop debris apparently. That's now dry, but that had water coming. It's water in that channel still, so which means it's still water coming in. This is now drying. It's just wet, but it's drying up slowly. This is wet, and now here you start to get to where it's dried up. That's half dry. And even my garage, you've seen videos of, and my garage is now half dry, and even you get to almost to the door now before it's actually wet. It's not as bad as it has been, and now next door is dry, but we are getting left with like a muddy residue, so we're going to need to keep cleaning. And 304 is dry. All this is now dried up, which was wet before. Okay, GO2, and all this area which is coming up to the ramp, all completely dry. And this had massive puddles before. All this area, this came halfway up the ramp, that's all now dry. Under these stairs was all wet. This has dried up in the last few days, so the water is drying up.